Hello and welcome to Total Drama What If number, I want to say 9, 8 or 9, I don't know. This is going to be Beth's episode, but before that, of course, we do have everybody say goodbye to Ezekiel and Not So Happy Campers Part 2. We have to say goodbye to Eva in The Big Sleep. Say goodbye to Noah in Dodge Brawl. Then I believe it was Justin in Not Quite Famous. Whoops, it was No Team Swap. Then in the Sucky Outdoors, we of course had Katie get removed, followed by Tyler in Phobia Factor. So goodbye. And then Up the Creek, something changes in Up the Creek. First of all, still goodbye to Izzy. But in this universe, instead of Beth using the restroom beforehand and not getting getting the memo about the cursed items. Oh my gosh, I'm just forgetting, my throat just clogged up, whatever. And not getting the cursed item. She instead needs to use the restroom the whole time, and they probably end up losing time because she goes and sits on poison ivy and tries to use the restroom, kind of like what Katie and Sadie do in the first episode or second episode. So Beth makes them almost lose, but they still end up, or actually no, they do lose, but Izzy gets chased off by the RCMP. Sorry, but Beth doesn't, she makes them lose even worse. So, so Beth doesn't have her little idol thing. Cody still gets killed here. Well, not killed, but Cody still gets taken out in Paintball Deer Hunter. But then we get to If You Can't Take the Heat. And the exact same thing plays out because we have the exact same elimination order until with no idol out. Oh yeah, they still Beth still turned on Heather in that alliance during Paintball Deer Hunter. So this alliance falls apart, and with no idol, Tiki idol to blame it on, Heather gets voted out probably 2-5. These two vote Beth. These 5, Heather makes Lindsay vote Beth because they are friends, and then these 5, of course, vote Heather. So just like every other What If, Heather gets taken out the second something goes wrong on the Screaming Gophers. Okay, then we get to Who Can You Trust, which is when Sadie gets eliminated, and I believe this goes exactly as it does in canon. There's no reason for it not to, so goodbye Sadie. But then we get to Basics Training, and this one also goes the exact same. Yeah, these episodes are going to get shorter and shorter now, with Courtney getting the votes rigged against her. But somebody in the comment section of my last video stated, why would Harold lose this challenge? Extreme torture, of course, I'm talking about. And I was like, what do you mean, why? And they said, well, I mean, think about it. He lost because he got distracted by Heather's breasts. And Heather wasn't there. Instead, Cody was there. So I said, you know what? I'll take that into account for future videos. But for that one, I just said maybe it got caught on Cody's pants. And Harold got him freaking embarrassed because it was bigger than his. I don't know. Whatever. Something like that. But in this one, it's Beth that is replacing Heather here. And Beth ain't got nothing for it. So he probably looks away out of pure disgust and almost crashes. But and they almost lose, but I think Harold still does it. Actually, even Beth is shorter, so maybe we'll just hit her in the back of the head, which would just give Harold the win even better, or even easier. So I think that we actually get extreme torture. We get a Screaming Gophers loss here. So Lindsay and Beth, they had that rift with Heather, but I think they've made it up, and I think these two will still vote together, and it doesn't matter who they vote. They probably vote I don't know, Owen or something, or Lashana, or Trent, I don't know, somebody. But it doesn't matter because these 4 are going to vote Lindsay off just for being more aligned with Heather originally, because I feel like it's pretty obvious if they lost if there was no merge and they lost the next 6 in a row, it would go Lindsay, Beth, Owen, Lashana, and then Gwen and Trent would be left. Thankfully that doesn't have to happen because we get sent to our Boys versus Girls challenge, aka the Brunch of Disgustingness. Now you may be wondering, what am I going to do? Because there is 6 boys and 4 girls. And to that I say, well, I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Where I'm going to take the most wimpy boy, and I'm going to do what they did in Team Amazon and World Tour, and I'm going to move him over. So, welcome to the girls' side, Harold. Now, for the actual challenge portion of this, I think it's pretty obviously going to be the boys who destroy the girls. You have the boys are the same as in canon. Well, the girls, you lose Heather for Harold, and you lose Lindsay for Beth, both of which I think would be a lot worse at this. So, yeah, the girls kind of get cooked here, especially when they have Owen. Doesn't even matter. But thankfully, this is just a reward challenge, so we get to our merge. So congratulations to DJ, Duncan, Jeff, Trent, Owen, Bridget, Beth, Lashana, Gwen, and Harold. And we hit No Pain, No Game. And in No Pain, No Game, this is when Eva and Izzy return, just like in canon. There's no reason for this to change. This won't change anymore, actually. We've gotten past the point where I think they would change any of the comebacks. So, yeah. And I think even though, like, without a Heather to even be a second target, I think it's pretty obviously going to be Eva that goes home here. So, yeah. Then we get to Search and Do Not Destroy, where it was very obvious that the immunity was given by the producers to what I consider the main antagonist. And since Heather isn't here, the closest to a main antagonist we have is Duncan. So he forms his guys' alliance, just as in canon, and I think he would leave Harold out of it. By the way, Lashana and Harold are a lot closer now. They're like actually together. Beth's kind of on the outs, same with Izzy, and then we have obviously the Bridget and Jeff thing going on. So something kind of like that. Yeah, that looks good. So when we get to Search and Do Not Destroy, though, this is originally Trent's episode, I believe. Yes, when Trent gets kissed. And I obviously don't think that would happen because I don't think Beth or Harold would do that. So instead, I think Duncan uses this opportunity to have the guys prove their loyalty by voting out Bridget. I think that would be right now because Bridget's already good with a couple of these. Well, actually, no, Duncan's smarter than that. So he would realize he needs Bridget's vote right now. So I think instead he'd want to vote out either Lashana or Harold, and Lashana's the bigger threat, while also he likes bullying Harold because he doesn't like seeing Harold happy, and also that's a power couple kind of, just not as powerful as this one. So I think he actually goes ahead and gets these 5 to vote Lashana. Meanwhile, Lashana, Harold can't vote Duncan, so they probably vote like, I don't know, DJ or Jeff. Gwen and Trent probably also somewhere over there, but probably not on the same page. Beth, or maybe like Izzy, I don't know. But I think overall, Lashana gets voted out in Search and Do Not Destroy, and Harold vows revenge for her. We'll see if that actually goes anywhere, though. So then we get to Hide and Be Sneaky. And with Hide and Be Sneaky, I think, I don't know. This is the episode when, I believe, this is when Bridget originally gets voted out. Yeah. So I think this is where Duncan would do that, because we're in he's in an even better position than he was. So I think proving loyalty, he tries to get everyone to vote Bridget. And of course, Jeff doesn't do that. Instead, I don't know if Jeff would flip and go for Duncan right now. But at the same time, I think he would, because I think at this point, his stuff with Harold, I think he would say it's gone too far, maybe even for DJ as well. So I actually think he teams up with Harold, and the 4 of them, including DJ, vote Duncan. I think they also get some of the others over here to vote Duncan, maybe even Owen as well, and Duncan probably gets voted out in Hide and Be Sneaky. I just feel like they'd be sick of how far he's taken the Harold thing, and Harold says he's gotten his revenge. So yeah, then we get to That's Off the Chain. Now, That's Off the Chain is an interesting one because Lindsay isn't here to be our obvious one. So who What the heck is that? Oh. Sorry, I was looking at the wiki and it said, Heather orders a frightened Lindsay to trim her untrimmed toenails, and it's got Heather's foot and Lindsay's face. I don't remember that. This is originally when Lindsay gets voted out, but she's not here. So who do I think is probably the best one here? Well, in canon, Owen does the best out of the remaining people. But the newbies, Beth and Harold, I think Harold would be pretty good at this. I think he'd wipe out the closest to finish line. And because of that, I think they'd get him out. Because Harold is, yeah, he'd be close to the finish line. I don't think anyone would actually make it to the final finish line. Oh, by the way, we'll say Izzy just takes Beth on the joyride instead, actually, since Lashana isn't here to do that. Then we get to Hook, Line, and Screamer, and DJ just missed his chance because I've had it to where Harold gets out instead of DJ on Hook, Line, and Screamer, but Harold just got out, and that's off the chain. So sorry, buddy, you're still going because Beth physically cannot scream. That's actually canon, by the way. Then we get to Wawanakwa Gone Wild, and with this little group of three being very nice, with them and Beth being chill, I think just like in canon. Wait 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I just miscounted. I think they just get Izzy out again here, so yeah, goodbye Izzy, just for being crazy, being a threat. Owen's not as good with her anymore after the freaking Hook, Line, and Screamer challenge, yeah. Then we get to the Trial by Triumph Triathlon, where Jeff is with Gwen, Trent is with Bridget, and Owen is with Beth. Here's what I think happens in this episode. I think we get a little bit of that action Trent, and I think I've done this before. Of course, you have Gwen and Jeff who are bonding a lot, and Trent would probably be spying on them. And Bridget would be like, it's fine, because Bridget's chill with Gwen and Jeff. And Trent's chill with Jeff and obviously Gwen too. So, Bridget's getting annoyed with how much Trent is like monitoring them and how anxious he's being about it. And I think because of this, in the end, Gwen and Jeff win immunity, and Trent like kind of leads on that he suspects something that he really shouldn't suspect. And I think Gwen still forgives him and is like, you really need to trust me more, but still doesn't vote Trent. But I think these four end up voting Trent. And they hug, and Trent apologizes, like sincerely apologizes to Gwen, Jeff, and Bridget, and gets voted out in the Trial by Triumph Triathlon. Also, Owen and Beth would just be pure comedic relief in that scenario. Then we get to Hot Come Chor, and Hot Come Chor is an interesting one because Lashana got out a bit ago. So who do I think gets out here for Hot Come Chor? It's a tie between two for me. And it's a tie between Jeff and Owen, because I feel like those are the two that Katie and Sadie would bring up in this scenario. So I'm actually going to go with Jeff, because I want some more diversity, because 4 of the 5 people here have already won like 5 of these what if videos, being Jeff, Bridget, Owen, and Gwen. They always make it so far. But I feel like Jeff's made it the most out of anybody. So I'm going to say that also in the writers wouldn't want this couple to make it that far together in this scenario. So I think Jeff gets eliminated in Hot Come Chor. Then we get to Camp Castaways, which would go similar to how it did in canon. And I think Gwen is still about the same. Owen still goes insane. Beth is fine. Bridget's fine. I think at this point, these two have become really good friends at this point, Bridget and Gwen. So, yeah, then we get to Are We There Yeti, where I think we have probably this duo versus this duo. And I think the people who obviously win this are Bridget and Gwen. So, when chosen who to eliminate, Owen probably still does his thing as in canon, where he runs for the cinnamon rolls. And since I don't think Chef really respects or disrespects either of these two, I think Owen is eliminated here for stealing his cinnamon rolls. So then we get to I Triple Dog Dare You, where I think Bridget and Gwen try to dog team or double team freaking Beth, And I don't know what Beth's endurance is like. I don't think it's crazy, but I don't think it's bad. Yeah, no, she's definitely done gross stuff before, but like Gwen's endurance is through the roof. She always wins this. And Bridget, with the double team going on, I think Beth. Well, do I though? Because Bridget was freaking out with the whole smell thing. And Beth has done like the stuff with her dentures, or not dentures, but whatever it is in her teeth before. I think I'm actually gonna switch it up, not just for diversity in the winners, but I think I'm actually gonna switch it up and say in a turn of events, Beth is locked in because she's probably gone on an arc throughout the rest of the season ever since Heather and Lindsay were eliminated. Of like she's always been on the outs, and she's kind of done more to keep her way in the game instead of just being a floater like she is in action, although she still is kind of a floater. So I think this would really make her deserving of a win, is her really pulling through and destroying Bridget and Glenn. But I don't think Bridget gets any like going bald or anything. I don't think Bridget needs that because she's a nice girl. She's not like mean at all. So this comes to our finale where we have Gwen and Beth. And even though this is Beth's video, and I think Beth definitely has enough to deserve a winning inning in this timeline, I'm still personally going to give it to Gwen. One, because I like Gwen way more than Beth. I actually don't really like Beth. But two, because I feel like Gwen still deserves it more. The only thing that didn't really happen with Gwen is she didn't have nearly as much interactions with Heather. So yeah, but still enough. So I'm gonna give it to Gwen. But this is gonna be what I think probably the first, maybe the second time where the subject of a video actually of a what if video actually got to the finale. So congratulations, Beth. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to catch y'all in the next one where we are gonna be doing Sadie's episode. That'll be interesting. All right, see y'all then. Bye.